How's it going, everybody? It's Sean here today to give you guys a review of the J Balvin collaboration with Jordan Brand on this Air Jordan 2 in the Celestine blue colorway. Today's video is sponsored by who else? The good people from Heffalux. Heffalux is my all-time favorite sneaker insoles, and they sell ETP insoles, which really is the same material you'll find inside Adidas Boost. So if you're looking to add some additional comfort inside your shoes, be sure to check out their website, which I've linked down below in the description box. You'll see they sell a variety of different insoles, so depending on the type of insole density and the cushioning setup you're looking for, you're going to find there's a suitable pair for anyone. So I've been a paying customer of Heffalux for years now, and I personally find them to be extremely comfortable. So if you guys want to check them out and try a pair for yourself, be sure to use the code BOO, that's BOO at checkout, to get 33% off your entire purchase. So this is the latest collaboration between musician J Balvin with Jordan Brand, which follows that multicolor tie-dye canvas Air Jordan 1. So for these Air Jordan 2s, these released back in September for a whopping $300 US or 390 Canadian dollars, which I gotta say is absolutely insanely expensive. And I don't know if this is just Nike and Jordan Brand just testing the market to see at what price will consumers just stop buying the shoes. But it seems like for this pair at least for the smaller sizes, they definitely are sitting on a lot of websites and stores, including livestock here in Toronto. So the official colorway for this shoe is Celestine blue, white, and multicolor. And as you can tell, this entire pair has a very whimsical feel to it, and it almost has like a childlike flair to it, which rings true to one of the shoe's inspirations, which is a pair of Buzz Lightyear sneakers that J Balvin had when he was a kid. But the overarching concept and story behind this project is actually based on his mental health journey. Specifically, you have to walk through the darkness to find the light, which is why they actually incorporated a physical functional light on this shoe. But we'll get into that later on in the review. First things first though, here's a quick look at the box, and this comes in a custom box just for this release. On the very top we have this brand new custom brain graphic with these two lightning bolts in green, and then the bottom of the box is done in this beige color. So diving into the details of this shoe, starting things off with the toe box, this front half of the sneaker is constructed out of a pale blue colored nubuck. Just like all your other Air Jordan 2s, this panel here is perforated and it loops all around towards the mid panel. And you'll notice that the stitching on the shoe is done in this multicolor or rainbow style. Overlaid on top of the front toe cap, we have another layer of light blue colored nubuck. And then in terms of the eyelets, so the bottom eyelet is done in the circular white colored fashion, and then the next four eyelets are done in this semi-translucent blue colored TPU. And then the remaining four eyelets at the top are once again done in that circular metallic white colored finish. Beneath this, on the mid panel of both sides of the sneaker, this area of the shoe is padded and almost done in a quilted style, and it's covered in this ripstop nylon material. This same finish is treated right above this, surrounding the top portion of the ankle collar area, and then wrapping around the bottom of the back half of the sneaker, here we have this translucent TPU overlay, and underneath this we have a cloud graphic which covers the back half of the shoe. On the very bottom of the heel, we have J Balvin's signature happy face logo, and then the top of the heel is covered in more of that light blue colored nubuck, and we have Nike branding stamped on in the shiny white color. In terms of laces, so these come with three different lace options. The default lace is a flat style lace in white, but they do come with these pink colored lace tips. If you're not feeling these white laces, they also give you a pale blue colored lace and a pale green colored pair as well. Underneath this, so the tongue is also constructed out of that same smooth nubuck, which is done in that same light blue color. On the top of the tongue, we have this rubberized Air Jordan Wings logo in white, and on the back of the tongue, we have this lightning bolt happy face branding. And if you press this in, you'll notice that the Air Jordan Wings logo, it lights up a bright green color. So unfortunately, I don't think there's an actual way for you to change the battery on this light, so I don't know how long it will last, but unless you're prepared to get surgical and open up the tongue, I think once that light burns out, it's pretty much dead for good. So the back of the tongue and the inner liner of this shoe is lined in this silky smooth cloud-like graphic textile, and this inner collar of the shoe is extremely well padded with a ton of foam. As for the insoles, so these come with their standard foam line insole. It's covered in a cloud graphic textile on top, and we have Air Jordan branding done in the stylized fashion on the heel. So the upper of the Jordan 2 sits atop this white colored foam midsole, and encased within the midsole but not visible to the eye, there is Nike Air technology for cushioning. And then finally, turning this pair over to the bottom, so the outsole here is done in this light blue colored rubber. We have this circular pivot point on the forefoot, and running down the heel we have this foam wedge in white with Nike branding. So that breaks down the look and the construction of these J Balvin 2s. And for those wondering about sizing, so I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side. I got these in my true size, which is my usual Air Jordan 2 size, and I found that these fit a lot more snug than some of my other Jordan 2s. For example, the Union 2s, the Ama Manières, and the Off-White 2s as recent examples. So maybe it's because this collar area, like I mentioned before, is extremely well padded. So because of that, it pushes your foot forward. And the Jordan 2 is already a bit more of a narrow shoe. So if you couple that with a very stuffed collar, that just means it's pushing your foot forward into an even more narrow part of the toe box. So for me, the size 10 was extremely snug. I could feel the sides of the shoe compressing into the sides of my toes. So in a perfect world, I think a 10.5 would have been probably better for me. If you have narrow feet, I think true to size should be fine for you, but I feel like even if you have normal width feet and you like more of a roomy fit, or you just like more room for your toes, then I think going up a half size will fit you totally fine as well. Moving on to the topic of comfort, so these feel pretty much like any other Air Jordan 2. Other than the fact that it's very well padded on the ankle collar area, the underfoot feeling is pretty much identical. It's not going to be super soft and super cushioned, but it's definitely more cushioned than, for example, an Air Jordan 1. It's noticeably higher off the ground and you lose a bit of that ground feel, but the trade-off is that there is more cushioning underfoot. So depending on your preference, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. But for just an everyday casual use shoe, these Jordan 2s will feel perfectly fine, assuming you can find the right size for your feet. Finally, in terms of the overall quality and craftsmanship. So first off, material quality, I thought it was pretty solid. The nubucks felt like a nice genuine cut of nubuck and had this very buttery but smooth feel to the touch. Even when you run your fingers across this nubuck, you can see that natural changes of the color, so it didn't feel synthetic at all to me. And aside from that, the back half of the shoe, this is pretty much all synthetic with the nylons and the TPUs, but I think the choices of the materials really works well with the overall theming of this shoe, so I wasn't mad about that at all. And in terms of the build and the craftsmanship, so really I had no real issues at all with my pair. My pair didn't have any noticeable glue stains. The stitch job wasn't perfect. There were some areas where the stitching could have been done better, but generally speaking, it was done pretty solidly. So with all that out of the way now, let me toss on these J Balvin 2s on feet and I'll show you guys how these look. Overall, I think that the concept and the execution of the design was pretty solid. I do have to admit, this pair has more of a youthful and childlike vibe to it, which means it's not necessarily going to fit everyone's style. If you like more of a low-key, mature sort of design, then you probably will have to pass on these. But like I mentioned in the beginning, this shoe really reminds me of sneakers that we used to have as kids. But of course, my biggest issue with this pair is the price point. At 390 Canadian dollars, it's not like you're getting amazing materials on this shoe. And yes, the fact that the tongue can light up is kind of a cool gimmick, but I don't think it justifies the price being so high. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about these J Balvin Air Jordan 2s. What are your overall thoughts on the design and the execution of this collaboration? And what are your thoughts on the price point? Do you think this is maybe a test by Nike and Jordan Brand to see how far they can push the envelope before consumers say that's just too much? Or do you think that price point actually is justified on this pair? Either way, leave a comment down below. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, follow my Twitter account at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.